Jones was more than willing, more than happy to be part of this event, and maybe after the fight we can get a private tour and see all the stadium for
Pugilism company, Reed BBS, here with the so fresh, so clean Robert Garcia. What's going on, brother?
Look, press conference time. You know, that's the only time you'll see me like this.
I'm in the, you got the hat to the side,
I'm in the gym every day, all day. So
okay, you clean up well. You clean up well, brother. So on paper, does this fight remind you of any others historically?
Look, I there's two fights that I watch because I know we're gonna be in the similar type of fight, and that's Leonard Hagler or Mosley De La Hoya. You know, those type of fights were similar to moving up in weight and challenging themselves to do something that very few think it's possible. Leonard did it, but it wasn't easy. Right. It was hard. So that's kind of what I see. You know, with our fight against Spence. You know, I know we could pull it off, but it's not going to be easy. We're gonna have to fight.
Do you see any Leonard Duran won in this fight?
Look, Leonard's been one of my favorite fighters of all time. So I do see a lot of his fights, and you know, Leonard Duran was a hell of a fight, and you know, obviously Duran beat him the first time, but you know, I see the one when he's moving up to middleweight to challenge himself. You know, even though he lost to Duran, but I like to see the one where he challenged himself to move up to challenge the best middleweight at that moment, and that's pretty much what we're doing this time.
Okay, I know you're from Oxnard and fighting here at Cowboy Stadium. Knowing the Cowboys trained in Oxnard, is it safe to assume the Garcias are fans of the Dallas Cowboys?
Definitely. You know, myself, Mikey, my son is a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, and you know, there's so many big fans in Oxnard, man. You know, they love football, and Cowboys is the team in Oxnard. Honestly, I'd say if you very few people in Oxnard go for other teams. It's mostly the Cowboys.
So, like, how far is that from Oakland? Because I know there's a lot of Raider
far,
fans.
Man. No, we're at least a 7-hour drive from Oakland.
No, now that the Rams are there, that's not a factor at all either.
Well, look,
the Rams left. So.
The Rams are, you know, we're in LA before. Now that they're back, there is a lot of fans. But in Oxnard, there's mostly Cowboy fans.
Okay, who were some of your favorite Cowboy players?
Look, there's so many that, you know, I honestly don't, you know, Emmitt Smith is probably one of the, in Oxnard, I'm telling you, because it's in Oxnard, he's probably one of the favorites.
Okay. So he wouldn't have to pay for a meal in Oxnard.
No.
Quincy Carter would.
In Oxnard, Emmitt Smith is one that still now you still see a lot of jerseys that are you know, fans wearing his jerseys because he's big over there.
Okay, so it's just me and you here. You want to tell me what Mikey sees? Do we want to let the cat out the bag?
Look, there's things me as a trainer or Mikey as a fighter challenging himself, things that the boxing fans, the media don't see, because, you know, when we prepare my fighter to fight somebody, we don't see our opponent as like a fan. You know, everybody sees Errol Spence knocking most everybody out, great fighters, sensational champion. But that's all the fans see, or the media. But they don't, you know, they don't see what me as a trainer, my father, Mikey, see when we're preparing to fight that person, to be able to beat that person. We have to see things that we could do that others don't know. I'm not gonna tell you.
Of course not.
I'm not gonna tell you. But see,
I was hoping,
that's
but
the
no,
difference. A great trainer studying his opponent, no matter who the opponent is, you got to see those things that you got to do in the gym to try to beat them. That those things, those punches that you can land, or those punches that you have to be prepared for, because that opponent is going to throw at you. We have to find the way to avoid getting hit with those punches. And Spence has great power. I love his body work, so those are things we have to work on, to try to prevent that from happening. He's also a fighter that not flashy. He's not flashy. He doesn't have too much of a, he's pretty basic. So those are things we have to also take advantage of and try to get Mikey to land his punches.
Final question: why will Mikey Garcia beat Errol Spence on March 16th?
I think coming into the ring, Mikey's gonna be so sure. Mikey already is. Mikey already went through the fight many times, because that's just something Mikey does for every single one of the fights. And he says every time he goes to the fight, he wins the fight. And Mikey, look, until they're inside the ring, and I think Errol's gonna be another one that says this. Until they're inside the ring against Mikey, they realize how good Mikey is. And I'm telling you this because every single one of our opponents that Mikey's faced, after the fights, we go to the locker rooms, and talk.
Just between y'all, you mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
And they've all said the same thing. Man, on the outside, it doesn't seem like you're that good, but until you're inside the ring, that's when you really know how good you are and how strong you are. And I think Errol's gonna come to the locker room telling them the same thing.
All right, well, I appreciate your time.
Thank
brother.
you. Thank you, man.